Could we get this show on the road? All right, let's do this. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Torn Tuesday, your weekly dose of all things Tolkien. My name's Justin, and I'm joined, as always, by your host with the most, the producer and writer of Ringers, Lord of the Fans, the co-author of The People's Guide to J.R.R. Tolkien, and the man who made a 2,000-seat room at Comic-Con cry tears of joy with his memories of the Brandywine star, Mr. Clifford Broadway.
That's quite an introduction. I don't know how I can follow up with that. How can I follow up with that? That is too much of an introduction, but it is absolutely lovely to be here on another weekly show. Welcome to our little corner of the interwebs. All of you wonderful people out there, this is theonering.net, forged by and for the fans of J.R.R. Tolkien. And this is our little weekly talk show. We're going to have some interesting news and breaking headlines and maybe breaking out in a rash. I don't know what's going to happen in this next show, but we have some great news and gossip and some wonderful reporting because there's a lot going on in the world. Conflicting reports about the hunt for Gollum. There's new reports about the Rings of Power. There's all kinds of new reports coming in. So welcome. It's nice to see you. There's all the people in the live chat. Love you,
Cliff,
folks.
Welcome to episode 701. It's a brand new chapter. We're halfway to 111. We're
701.
we're halfway to 11 years basically. Wait, no, we're more. No, yeah, we're halfway, less than halfway. Half of you more than you. Anyway. I'm so happy to be here with you, Cliff. We had a great show, celebrated with fans last week at Scum and Villainy Cantina for 700th episode. I'm just so overjoyed over the last few weeks. We had a huge Comic-Con, and our big show last week, and we're just so happy that you're here. With the fans on YouTube and Facebook and Twitch and all the wonderful people. I see a lot of our regulars. Emily Cheatham is here. Oh, Roak. Katie is here, and Julia and Lastwin, Otaku and Omar and Nigel. It's great to see everybody. Guys, we've been inundated with so much news. Cliff is still working on his mic and his lights, but we have basically 3.5 weeks of brand new news, leaks. We have actual set photos from the set of Rings of Power. We've got this show is packed. This show is packed. We don't have time to dolly lily dolly around because we've got news about Hunt for Gollum. Lollygag. But first, Cliff, I just want to say that we can confirm that the official Middle-earth Enterprises Prancing Pony Pints officially can hold an entire 6-pack in one mug.
Oh, wow. That is a lot of booze. That's a lot of beer.
Well, it's a cold beverage. I wouldn't call it booze. We are a family show here, but a whole 6-pack of cans was able to be poured in this thing. So, cheers to you, Cliff.
Cheers to you too. That's hilarious. I know I'm going to lose my light. It's going to fall again.
Wow.
It's very entertaining.
Well, Cliff, let's start off with the big
light struggle. It's so funny.
Let's start with the big news, Cliff.
Let's bring on the news. Yes, absolutely.
The San Diego Comic-Con,
the YouTube chat, the Facebook chat.
Yeah, the San Diego Comic-Con unofficial blog, which is your best source of all the news for Comic-Con. It's the number one source of like where to get party tickets, where to go to the offsites, what everything is. We love SDCC blog. They've scooped everything over the years, and we gave they're just wonderful people. They always have recently a voting contest to vote for best of Comic-Con, and we're nominated for 2 awards this year. I believe this is the first time ever the OneRing.net and Middle Earth have been
indeed.
nominated.
We are. This is
And
wild. We're nominated in the, what are they called? The Shruggies? Was that the name of the award?
yeah,
The Shruggies?
the Shruggies, and here we are. As soon as you click
This is so funny.
if you go to the homepage of thewandering.net, or the on the front page, there's a link to the story, and that has the links to the poll. You just click on vote here, and it takes you right to this page. And the first question is, what was the best booth of Comic-Con? And they've listed the OneRing.net. I want to be clear for our friends at the studios and Middle Earth that are watching. We were happy to partner with you on the booth. Middle Earth Enterprises built that booth. It's Middle Earth's booth. We were happy to share in the titling. I don't know. It is officially Middle Earth's booth at Dark Horse's booth.
But on this ballot, they think it's our booth. But they meant to say it's Middle Earth Enterprises, right? Is that right?
And you know, at the end of the day, we're all just fans of Tolkien, and so I don't want to correct anybody because that would just confuse the polling, and maybe they would cancel all our votes. Anyway, vote for the OneRing.net in best booth. You are actually voting for Middle Earth's booth. But what you are voting for on the second question, what was the best exclusive of Comic-Con? The One Ring Prancing Pony shirt. That is ours. So the first two questions,
Definitely.
the first two questions on the best of Comic-Con poll, Shruggies, is the OneRing.net booth, which is actually Middle Earth, and the OneRing.net Prancing Pony shirt, which we sold out of by Friday. It was crazy. We've never sold out so fast.
It really
guys,
was remarkable.
Voting is open until Friday. You can click on the link every morning and check the voting. I don't know how they're validating voting because Lego is so far ahead. We went from last place to third place.
They are.
Yesterday. We went from last place to third place yesterday, and we want to encourage you to keep voting, keep posting to your followers and friends about voting. We could use all the votes you can get, you can give. So please give us all the votes over the next 3 days. Voting closes on Friday, and you can find all the links. Once again, you can find all the links on our homepage. Vote now for Middle Earth as best booth.
Isn't that fabulous? 25. It's so fabulous that Middle Earth Enterprises shows up for the first time at their very first San Diego Comic-Con, and they're already nominated for best booth of the year. This is very, very good. And it's a lot of things that came into alignment. That was bad grammar. There are many things that came into alignment for that wonderful booth experience to happen. And yes, it was very popular. It really was. Everyone loved it.
Well, and look, the competition is tough. Look at that. We're up against Lego and Gundam. The Gundam was an amazing booth. Marvel always has an amazing booth. They were all Fantastic Four themed. We're just happy to be nominated amongst these wonderful big budget booths, and we're just really excited. It's an honor just to be nominated, and I'm serious about that. But I do want to win.
Absolutely.
So
absolutely, that too.
Let's get some more votes in. I know I'm clicking the link every morning, and you know what? If it allows me to vote again, I do vote again. I'm just gonna say it. Like I don't know how they're checking validations or whatever. I don't know if they're gonna audit later.
I've already voted, but let me try to reuse the link and see if I can vote again.
That's
right. I didn't know that I could vote more than once.
Moving on. A lot of people sent in this article this morning. In fact, I woke up from texts from my dad and my sister, and our inbox at theonering.net got flooded with everybody posting, sharing this New York Times article from this morning. A rare copy of The Hobbit was found on an unassuming shelf, bidding for the Tolkien classic, which was found in Bristol, England, is already exceeded $25,000.
Oh my goodness. Oh, Monica says you can vote more than once. So good. I will keep voting. Yay.
Cliff, have you ever held a first edition Hobbit book?
I do not believe I have. I've seen one in a refrigerated case once in Oxford, but I've never held one.
It's
Oh my gosh.
incredible. I
Wow.
literally couldn't believe my eyes, says this book person. Um,
Wow.
how could it possibly be amongst all this rubbish? The first edition, first impression of The Hobbit, which has sold more than 100 million copies worldwide. Um,
Wow.
only about 1,500 were printed in September of 1937. Yes, that is just 3 months before Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs came out in theaters. Big year for dwarfs. So first editions of The Hobbit have proven very valuable. So go to the New York
That's
Times.
funny. Otaku Senpai says, quote, untouched by human hands, as she's shown holding the book in her bare hands. I love an irony.
I love it. I have held a first edition in my hands, and I gotta say, they started to sweat, and I immediately handed the book back because I was too nervous. I was too nervous.
Do you know what I did? I did discover in my high school library, back when I was a kid in school, that they had a first edition hardcover of Frank Herbert's Dune, published by Chilton. Chilton Books was the first publisher, and that thing is now worth a fortune. Whatever happened to it, it's worth a lot of money. But that's the closest
Omar in
I've
the
come
chat
to
room says,
first
when are you
edition.
going to come join me at the Hobbit Cafe in Houston? We've been several times to the Hobbit Cafe in Houston. In fact, I think one of our
love it.
friends was
I love
over
it
there a couple weeks ago. We love the Hobbit Cafe in Houston, Texas. So thank you to everybody for sending in this New York Times article. Please, if you have the means and are looking for something to acquire, it is currently at auction. And I promise you, you will not be disappointed if you did, purchase this collectible. It will
Gosh,
only
I would love to
go
have
up
that.
in value. Cliff, you know what else happened
I
this
would love to.
week?
Tell me. Oh gosh, yes, this is now premiered on Prime here in our market in the United States. There is Billy Boyd and Dominic Monaghan with their new show. Well, at least it's new to us here in this territory. Billy and Dom Eat the World. I am so excited to see this show. So fun. It just
Right?
started 4 days ago. Just started on Prime
It's
Video.
I believe all episodes are streaming now on Prime Video. Billy and Dom Eat the World. We love these guys. They've been such a wonderful supporter of the One Ring over the years. Here's the fun part, Cliff. I woke up this morning to a notification on this.
Oh yes,
because,
there it is.
check this out, Cliff.
Look at how cool that is.
If you go to our Instagram, we posted about it. Billy and Dom Eat the World. Isn't that great?
Yeah.
You know,
I can't wait to see this.
and check this out. Stu Brennan, our friend who's been on the show, Stu Brennan, is right there congratulating Billy and Dom. Check this out, Cliff. What about Germany? Oh, man, it's not letting me show it on screen. Anyway, Billy's in our comments responding to fans.
No, how fun is that?
So I don't know why Instagram does this. They keep changing the rules. Anyway, Billy and Dom are actually in our comments. So that's pretty fun. So if you got a question for them, they may answer.
That's fabulous. Yes, they are. These guys are great, and I'm sure they're excited for a whole new, distribution for their show, so everybody else can see it.
That's right.
This is great.
Cliff, you know what else happened this week? Well, first, I should say,
Do tell.
We have a ton of news. And
Yes,
we have exclusive, Cliff. I believe you have the Green Dragon gossip on Hunt for Gollum, but I think we should save that later because let's jump into Rings of Power now because they were not at Comic-Con this year. We didn't have anything to reveal at the panel. They didn't give us anything to debut. They didn't have an off-site. There was no branding whatsoever, not even on the Amazon event space of Rings of Power. But just 2 days after Comic-Con ended, what happened?
something dropped, and it's quite a surprise, isn't it?
It's quite a surprise. Check this out, Cliff.
Yes, I remember seeing this.
Amazon announced this. Oh, I don't think I have the video, or I don't think I have the audio tuned in. But Amazon posted this now in production video, just 2 days after Comic-Con, and I have to wonder, Amazon, why didn't you let us debut this on the big stage at Comic-Con? That would have been nice gift for fans, and we know we love Lords of Gifts.
An exclusive like that. Yes,
we love.
You know what? I do not know the answer why they didn't show that at Comic-Con. I really don't know why.
I don't know either. It's such a perfect Comic-Con tease. I have no idea why they didn't let us show this at Comic-Con.
How about you unmute the video and see if it plays from that?
It's not working. But fans believe. Fans have been digging in. Let's pause this here.
This makes me think that they might release their first collectible, and it might be just Morgoth's crown. It looks like that's what it looks like. Like, oh, look, there's a.
Well, no, this is the set, and eagle-eyed fans have been zooming in on the background here, and there is a single ring on that spike in the background. That's obviously that's obviously a tool for a ring maker to resize a ring. You guys know how to resize a ring. You heat it up and then you stretch it a little bit over a cone. Well, in the back there, halfway down the cone, you can kind of see that there's a blurry hint of a ring on there. Fans on Reddit believe that this is our very, very first blurry tease of the One Ring of Power. Cliff, your thoughts?
It could be. That's, well, my thoughts, basically. How about singular? Not thoughts plural, but my thought singular is that's just as likely as anything else. But don't read too much into a blurry background, because what I'm looking at is not the interior cave of Orodruin. That is not the Samath Naur. So even if that is an actual set location, that's not the Samath Naur, which we know, canonically speaking, is where Sauron actually created.
You're talking about the cracks of Doom. Are you trying to trick me here? You're talking about the crack of Doom?
Yep.
Okay, so this is not the crack of Doom.
The elves don't call it the crack of Doom. They call it the Samath Naur. And that is it is also colloquially known as the crack of Doom. That is where the fire of the mountain was hot enough, and the evil power, the centralized power of Sauron himself, was manifest, strong enough with the heat of Orodruin, Mount Doom. And that is where he
that's
forged
not
the ring.
this. That is definitely not.
No, look at the background. That's not it. That's not it.
All right, so you heard it here from the Tolkien expert. Clifford Broadway says that's not the One Ring of Power, but that is Morgoth's crown with the Galadriel's blood on it, and maybe some old dried Sauron blood on it, huh?
Goodness gracious. Is there going to be...
What chemical reactions could be happening on those spikes of that crown now with two blood of a Maiar and a blood of an elf? Who knows?
I wonder if the showrunners have actually hinted that the wound that she took at the end of season 2 is going to carry forward with her in season 3 and be problematic.
The showrunners have already confirmed that. I don't have time to bring up their quote, but they did say that will have a lingering effect on the narrative. Last one in the chat room is accurately saying that, here we go again, fans over-analyzing hands.
Oh, yeah. I remember then we had all those posters. And all we could do was analyze the belt and the hands and make guesses as to what it was.
Cliff, our friends over at Empire Magazine had a whole article about this, which is great. Empire Magazine, of course, has been able to get some scoops over the years from Amazon as an official partner with them. Of course, Empire revealed the ghostly apparitions last year for season 2.
Those were the Barrow Wights.
The Barrow Wights. So they Empire plays safe and plays nice with Amazon. Empire would never post anything that is very out of whack, right, Cliff? You would say that it's journalistic integrity and good partnership, good business to not
I would
deal
say
in
yes.
rumors.
I would say that is very true. Empire usually gets all the exclusives, and they usually have all the actualities. They have the factualities. So they're better armed with a better source of facts, because
Well,
Amazon gives them more information than other outlets.
Well,
So yes, I would say that.
I wanted to point this out because at the bottom of the article, they say Jamie Campbell Bower is heading to Middle Earth for season 3.
Yes.
Of course, this is Jamie Campbell Bower. He is a beautiful, beautiful man with an impressive social media presence. He goes to fashion shows. He dresses well. He teases fans with his thirst trap posts and his Morpeth Clark t-shirts that he likes to wear all the time.
Yes. Yes.
But I do also want to point out Empire Magazine. This is the first time this has ever been printed in an official news publication. With rumors abound that the former could be taking the role of Galadriel's yet unseen husband, Celeborn. Cliff.
Yep. That's what we've been saying.
What does it mean when a major publication deals in rumors like this? Does it give it more weight?
Yes, it certainly does. Of course it gives it more weight, and you've already said why. That's the context. Empire is the official press outlet with the official exclusive deal, and they're rocking and rolling with all the information coming through the pipeline. And if Empire has that information and they're confident, then yes. Now, I'm going to turn the table and put the question to you, Mr. Justin. Will you stop arguing with me about the necessity and the needfulness, and you know you do have a proclivity to argue with me about this, but it is Celeborn time. And I want you to say live on the air right now, my friend, on episode 701, that you will stop bringing up false arguments in bad faith that Celeborn isn't going to be there or doesn't need to be there, which I've heard you say many times. And now look at this. Like everyone has speculated, our boy, JCB, is going to come on the screen and be the missing link to all the narrative in her story. It's Celeborn time, isn't it?
It is not, and I really do feel I feel very, very strongly as a fan of the show and as a fan of TV tropes, and as the original Riverdale and Rivendell champion. I feel that the introduction of Celeborn in this show, as the showrunners have constructed it, ruins the show. The show is about Galadriel and Sauron and their misadventures.
The show is about rings of power.
Celeborn is
everybody
dead.
Being messed up.
Celeborn is dead. They say that in season 1, episode 7. She
no
does.
Body.
She literally says, "My brother died, and so did my husband."
At the end of the Stephen Raimi directed Doctor Strange, there was no body for the Scarlet Witch. So guess what Marvel fans are saying? That Scarlet Witch is not dead. And I'm going to say the same thing. And you know this is the narrative trick. It is the ultimate red herring.
I'm not doing
body, if you don't see the body, then the person's not dead.
I get it. I get it. Okay. I understand.
Even Darth Maul got cut in half.
That was the stupidest thing.
Dave Filoni brought him back. He was not dead.
If this show takes another stance about being inspired by Star Wars, if Rings of Power says yet again that it was inspired by Star Wars, I'm going to, I don't know what I'm going to do. I understand your position, Cliff. I understand most fans appreciation for Celeborn and how they want him there because you
You know,
guys
he
have
was
read
standing
more
there
than
in the
me.
Fellowship of the Ring movie,
Yeah, but
same
that's the third
Balrog,
age.
the same
I'm
the
saying
same
it
Balrog that
changes
you
the
see.
show. It
The show is not
changes the
changed.
show. It
I do
changes
not
the
agree.
dynamic of the show.
I strenuously and politely disagree. That Balrog is the same Balrog. It's under the Misty Mountains. We're going to see it in Fellowship. And what? Who's there in Fellowship of the Ring? Standing on the flet next to her? Well, it's Martin Sokas playing Celeborn. And that means it's Celeborn time. However, let's look at it and analyze it this way. It has been useful for J.D. Payne and Patrick McKay to keep Celeborn off screen for 2 seasons. That has been useful. It's been very useful for them. And guess what? Now it's the time where the narrative is going to get realigned because he's not dead. You never found the
You know
body.
what?
Scarlet Witch is not dead. Darth
Fine.
Maul was not dead. Celeborn is not dead.
Look, we've got so much. We've got so
I'm
much
telling
news.
you.
We've got leaked pics to show you guys. I'm not here
Okay.
to debate Celeborn this week, but
know,
I
Emily,
am
we
saying
are.
I will
I
give
know.
you this, Cliff. I will give you this. The fact that Empire has written in its paper of record that this man may be Celeborn, I have to say, if you're gonna bring back the husband, he has to be hotter than Hellbrand, and you know what? He is. If you're
And
gonna
yes,
bring
he
back
is, no
Celeborn,
doubt.
this is the man. This is the man.
He played Gellert Grindelwald. If he plays the character who is hot enough to steal the heart of Albus Dumbledore when he was young,
Yeah.
then yeah, he's
Yeah.
going to play a
Yes.
Celeborn who is hot enough to steal the heart of Galadriel. Now, bringing Celeborn back
We don't need to
may
talk
go a
about it
long
anymore.
way.
Can we just agree on that? Can we end on
Can
that?
I make the joke? I just want to make the joke.
You
Let me
made
make
it.
the joke.
Okay.
Having him back there on the stage is going to maybe help go a long way towards forgetting the fact that she was making out with her son-in-law. Maybe. Okay, I'm done. Let's go on with the next line item on our show. By the way, I love you guys in the chat. Julia, Jean, Emily, Cecilia, Otaku Senpai, Monica. And there's the wonder of Tolkien. Thank you, my good friend. My good friend. Where's T? Is T with Tolkien? Is she in our show? You know, she'll probably stop by. So yeah,
Here's some
all right,
more.
this is
Here's
next.
some more
This is next.
photos. Some intrepid man. I don't know what's going on with Reddit today. Some intrepid, wonderful meme accounts found these BTS photos of these guys. Cliff, remember these guys?
Yeah, these were the Easterlings who had some kind of leprosy or something, and they were, you know, this is very much reminding me of
we can
the
now
way-
confirm that the leprosy idea was a late stage re-edit and addition, because that is how they were styled on set.
No way. That's really how they all were before the leprosy thing happened. Wow. That's intriguing. Oh, wow. Okay. Huh. Very intriguing. Very intriguing. Wow. There they were. The Easterlings. They were all like that. Did they reshoot with the masks, or did they digitally add the masks?
The masks were a huge post-production CGI expense, and you know, you wonder, why does this show cost $500 million to produce every season? Is because
Really?
at some point they chose to cover these guys' heads with CGI masks. And now let me ask you this,
Really?
Cliff. I don't think I
I
showed you
thought
these
those were
before
physical
the show.
masks. I wonder why this would happen.
They were all CGI. So, Cliff, now that you've seen it,
Okay.
do you think the masks added anything to the show, or would you have liked to see their performance like this?
The masks added an element of, oh, you know, that person has leprosy, like in Kingdom of Heaven, and it's Edward Norton, but you never ever see Edward Norton's face as the king. He's just under his leprosy mask the whole time. So I thought that's what they were going for. You know, it doesn't make a difference to me really, but since I got what I got in second season, I think the masks were cool and interesting. And here's why. It made their grievances towards the Dark Wizard more legitimate. And they did have very specific grievance towards the Dark Wizard. And I think them having this debilitating leprosy condition, it kind of legitimizes their it really does. It legitimizes their complaint, and maybe it supports, maybe in some, erstwhile unknown methodology, but why they even got into that deal with the Kieran Hines wizard, whose name we still don't know. But maybe
another
it was
unnecessary
part of their
mystery box. Please, I'm begging you, McPain, stop with the mysteries. Just give
There's
it to us straight. Please.
Yeah.
Please.
No
I'm
more
just,
mystery boxes.
I'm begging you. We're all going to have a better
fed up.
time when you stop with the mysteries, including these guys. Just tell us who they are.
We've been saying it for 2 seasons now. We all of us, you, Justin, me, Clifford, and a lot of voices in the fandom, many voices in the fandom, have actually are in complete agreement that the mystery boxing is not helpful at all.
Cliff, Terrence in the chat room says it's the Mandalorian sand people, and this is one of the issues I have with putting these CGI masks on these characters. They obviously filmed them with humans. That was the original intent, right?
Yeah.
Look at that.
Wow, and I never knew. This is crazy pants.
So, Cliff, the fact that they put these masks on and everyone watching the show immediately said, "Oh, this is Star Wars sand people," is another detriment to the show. It's an unforced error. It's a turnover. You've basically taken something that was uniquely Tolkien, and now you've turned it into a bad Star Wars spinoff. And why would you do that?
I get the point.
The other thing I want to mention, Cliff, look carefully at this picture.
Yeah.
Now look at this picture. You notice that in this picture, there's red hoods and one blue hood and 2 blue hoods. But in this picture, the entire crew is wearing blue. They got blue on their head. They got blue on their scarves. Every one of these pictures has a blue scarf, a blue hair, a blue head. Look, there's blue scarf and blue head. This is the clearest sign that they serve a blue wizard. Remember the white hand of Saruman?
Oh, now I understand. Wow.
Yeah, remember the white hand of Sauron, and even the orcs put the white hand of Sauron on their foreheads? Look
you mean
at
the
this.
white hand of Saruman?
Saruman. Yeah.
Very
Look at this.
Character.
They all wear blue.
As if they were serving one of the blue wizards. Yeah, they do.
So let's confirm this right now. I believe that Kieran Hines is a blue wizard, and these are the Knights of the Blue Wizard.
All right, the Knights of Ren. Okay.
But
this is the Knights of Ren.
And here's my unfortunate...
I never thought of them as sand people. They just reminded me of the Knights of Ren, kind of. They look interesting, but they're not given anything interesting to do much.
They don't do much. But, Cliff, why would they change the hoods, the color scheme of the whole crew from blue to red and blue? Why would McPain purposely try to throw us off the tracks that this was a blue wizard? Why would they do that? Another unnecessary mystery box.
Yeah, well, because they take a little bit too much delight in the mystery boxing, and that doesn't help. It doesn't help the overall purpose and placement of the narrative, and where it needs to go. It just doesn't help. I'm just so frustrated with the mystery boxes. Look, as we've shown here, we're 50-50 on the masks. I could do without the mask. I would appreciate to see actors acting. I think it makes Tolkien's world more humanistic. I think it gives us fans a performance worthy of celebrating. And I think putting a CGI mask over them removes them of their humanity. And this is why it didn't get nominated for any Emmys. But Cliff, you made a good point of why the leprosy angle and the masks add
value to the story, and I do appreciate that. I hadn't thought of it like that, and I do like that.
Well,
But
I mean, if these people all suffered a great deal from leprosy, all of them, then that might be strongly motivational for them to get into some kind of a deal, like a deal with the devil, meaning getting into a deal with the Blue Wizard, the Kieran Hines character. Maybe they were so desperate that they needed help from him. I don't know,
I
but
just
that's
like
what I thought.
you know what? There's so much going on. There's 28 main characters in this show. You got to simplify the show, McPain, and giving us blue wizard warriors that wear blue on their face is an illusion
Like the mark
to
of Saruman.
to
Yeah.
Saruman.
It is
It's such an easy win. It's
It
such
is strong,
an easy
strong
win.
allusion to either the character Alatar or Palando, because those were the names of the Blue Wizards. They had other names as well that the elves called them, but Alatar and Palando were your Blue Wizards.
Cliff, can I before we move on, can
Moon
I
Witch
pause?
is saying, I do feel like the masks actually convey leprosy, whereas without, I wouldn't have known by looking. Yeah, so they were trying to do something.
I think the leprosy angle
storytelling.
was just a re-edit. I think they re-recorded dialogue to add leprosy. I don't think leprosy was in the script
True.
originally.
True.
So, Cliff, I want to add
True.
one. I want to
Thanks,
add
Katie.
one idea
Yes.
before we move on to our next set of leaked picks from Rings of Power season 3. And let me ask you this:
Okay.
it's not guaranteed that Kieran Hines is playing a blue wizard. I think he's Saruman. Is this an opportunity? Did they put these multicolored heads on these warriors to introduce the concept of Saruman of many colors?
Really? Is that what you're thinking?
That's what I'm
looking
thinking.
I'm looking up the other names of the Blue Wizards because I knew their names. Romastamo.
Romastamo.
No, it'd be Morinhitar. Morinhitar and Romastamo.
Yeah.
So
So
that's right.
So real
Morinhitar
quick, Cliff,
and Romastamo.
would
Yes.
you be okay with these added colored hoods introducing the concept of Saruman of many colors?
No. This Kieran Hines character cannot be, and I'll say it both ways, should not be Saruman and cannot be Saruman. No way.
Well, I don't agree. I think he's Saruman. I think he should be Saruman, and I don't like the idea
That would
of
be
casting.
so awful. That would be an awful way to go. That'd be awful.
No,
Not a good idea.
I think it's more awful to cast an Eastern wizard, a blue wizard, from as a Scottish white guy. I think that's more awful. I think the blue wizards are two of the strongest characters in the entire Legendarium, and canonically took an old man appearance to blend in with the cultures and societies that they were meant to serve.
True. That's true. They did.
So casting a white guy as a blue wizard is antithetical to how Tolkien describes them. You want to talk about bad casting? That would be bad casting, and that's what I would say about that.
We don't have much of a description of them at all from Tolkien, so
I know.
I don't know where you're getting that from. Tolkien
we don't
didn't
have
say,
it. I
he
know
didn't
we
say
don't.
boo
He
about what they looked like.
He just
But
said that
we're-
the wizards always appear as old men, and
Yeah.
and they appear as old men in order to earn respect in the cultures and society that they land in. And the blue wizards go east. They should not be white guys. But let's move on. We've got a whole lot of other pictures, including Cliff. This picture popped up from an extra actor, a background extra in season 3 of Rings of Power.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
The question is this brand new Numenorian armor, or is this Elvish armor, or is this a new Southlands or human armor? I guess, are there any humans non-Numenorian men in the story right now. What is your thought? What race of characters do you think this leaked armor could be, Cliff?
Oh, I don't know. But that could be an incomplete costume that still has more pieces to add on to it. Um, but no, this isn't dwarvish, and that's not elvish. This would be some kind of mortal human type. Do you think they're going to bring the early ancestors of the Rohirrim? The early. Do you think they might in seasons 3, 4, or 5 bring in uh the earliest ancestors of Eorl the Young, the
Oh, that's
Eorlings,
interesting.
Eorlingas? I
Here's
wonder
the
if that
thing.
will happen.
Here's the thing.
Because they're squishing all the timelines together by many thousands of years, so that's as likely as anything,
Well,
right?
the question I have for you, Cliff, is does Numenor appear in the War of Elves and Sauron? Because Amazon has confirmed that season 3 is about the War of Elves and Sauron specifically. Does Numenor come to aid? Because Reddit seems to think this is a new class of Numenorian armor, but I don't see where Numenor comes into play in the War of Elves and Sauron.
Well, I thought that we already witnessed the War of the Elves and Sauron with the sack of Eregion, the destruction. Even though they never named it, it was the city of Ost in Ethil. That's what was being destroyed at the end of season 2.
Katie in the chat room says those boots look like Tom Bombadil.
Maybe.
This outfit actually looks more like Tom Bombadil than what we got in season 2. Cliff, we've got way more photos, and this
yeah,
is
to answer your question, yes, the Numenorians did arrive, and they drove Sauron's forces out of the Grey Havens, and Sauron and his orcs retreated all the way to the river Gwathlo, and they found their way blocked by a second Numenorian army, and then Sauron was thus pinned between two forces and mostly wiped out in the ensuing Battle of the Gwathlo. And the force that was besieging Rivendell at the time was caught between Gil-galad and Elrond and destroyed. Sauron himself retreated south with the remnants of his force, but was attacked again in eastern Calanarthon and escaped to Mordor with only a small bodyguard. So it was a decisive victory because the Numenorians came to help the elves to finish that big fight.
Okay, so we are getting Numenor.
Most of Eriador was laid waste.
This armor
Yes.
makes more sense than the fish scale armor, I gotta say. If this is what background extras are wearing, and we don't know how much of a background extra this is. This might be just like the far distance, out of focus, you just show up and swing outfit. This may so this and from a distance this could read as fish scale armor if he's meant to be in the background. But Cliff, the big scoop over the last couple of weeks is we got actual photos from the set of season 3 of Rings of Power. Check this out, folks.
Dear.
They are definitely shooting. These are not crew tents. These are sets. Those are Gil-galad's elven tents, war tents. This is for an elven army on the battlefield. Look at that. You can see in universe wagon wheels.
Look at that.
You can see
Otaku Senpai in the chat is correct in saying the princes of Rhovanion. That's where the men of the north should be at this time, including the forebears of the Rohirrim. Yes.
There you go.
Very good. Accurate. I love having some lore accuracy on this. It's great.
Look, we've got some green elven rope.
Look at that.
And some beautiful elven. You got some elven designs at the bottom of the barracks and tents. Cliff, look at this. These are not human barrels. These are obviously elven barrels. And
are they obviously elven barrels? Why are they obviously elven barrels? Why?
Elven barrels were taller and thinner. The barrels that we've seen from humans look like regular barrels.
Oh wow! So this is just stocks of all their props
and
Okay,
here's
that's elven. That's entirely elven. Yes.
that's entirely elven. So
Very, very
this is the
elven.
confirmation that that's elven. Obviously, this is
That's
a
elven.
tent that they're
No
storing
doubt.
stuff. Um, so
No doubt.
shout out to Khalil Moon on our Discord for finding these photos. Um, they've been an incredible resource, bringing to light some of the incredible
Wow.
artistry with the Rings of Power season 1, 2, and now 3. And if you guys, I keep telling you this every week, if you guys want to be the first to see all the leaks, you got to join Discord. That's where all the action's happening. So Cliff,
Yeah, that's
let's
very
go
true.
through these photos one by one.
Absolutely true.
Computer enhance. Cliff, what do your elf eyes
Computer enhanced.
see?
Thank you, Blade Runner reference. Okay, I see these. Do you see these designs that look like peacock feathers on top of the tent? That is
Y-
so elvish. That is an elvish design.
yes.
Yeah, that does look like a peacock feather. A plume, rather, a plume.
Why would you call that elven? Can you give
because
me some background
because
on
neither dwarves nor mortal men would use that kind of uh an a design that is so aviary. I mean, it's avian. That's the word, avian.
sure.
Yeah, an avian
Um,
design. It's got to be elves.
so second age
Now these
elves.
tools. Look at all these tools and things.
Yeah, look at all these tools.
These are farm implements, and they might be used by the men, the men of the Southlands who had been relocated out of Mordor and are now in Pelargir. Let's now refer to them more properly as the the settlers. Well, they
all of that looks
migrated.
elven. Look
They
at that thing in the
migrated to
front.
Pelargir.
In front of the shovels. You can see that long stick with the top heavy with the 3-prong
Yeah,
top in front of the shovels. That's very elvish. I don't think that
it
these
is.
are leftover things of men. I think almost everything here is elvish in some capacity. And maybe they use a special wood 'cause that is very bright wood. Yeah, considering going through all these photos, the wood is very light and bright, and you can imagine that would
Yeah.
read on camera much more than a dark and gloomy Men of Southlands would, right? That's been tainted and
Mm.
poisoned and stuff like that. All of those tents, yeah, as you can see, all of those tents have those things. What, Cliff? What do you think of these
Okay.
doorways?
Katie has an interesting counterpoint. And absolutely, I want to talk about this. She says it reminds me of Numenor. Peacocks are very Mediterranean and make me think of Dol Amroth first and Numenor second. I'll go with that. I'll totally go with that. That's you know what? Yeah, come to think of it, yeah, maybe those tents. Well, wow, look at the bottom. Look at the bottom of the tent. See? Look at that. Yeah, that could be
I'm not buying
a
it.
tent.
No, I'm not. I'm not buying it.
Well, you know what? There's also somebody else in the chat said that there's a distinction between the faithful and the non-faithful Numenorians because they're now split. The population of Numenor is split into two, and one group of these people are faithful to the Valar, and the others are not. And they will end up becoming more Goth worshippers when Sauron is through with them. So yeah, I totally dig that, Katie. It could very well be I would first think that of elves because of their, and all these design elements have a very Art Deco influence. That goes all the way back to Weta's earliest designs from 25 years ago. There's some distinct Art Deco influence on elven designs, at least from Weta. So that was part of my thinking. But yeah, I totally dig that.
Well, let me bring this picture up from I believe this was season 1. I believe this is Elvish.
Uh-huh.
I mean,
Yes.
look at that color scheme.
Uh-huh.
Look at those branches. You know,
Wow. Yeah.
but look at the green and the gold, and I do like how the green and the gold reference the idea that the golden tree was being corrupted by the black goo. This is kind of hints that that elven culture is fading and rusting. It also reminds me of the Statue of Liberty. You know, the Statue of Liberty is copper. It's
It
supposed to
was
be
originally a
shiny
very
copper.
different, yeah, but the verdigris that set in over many years has changed it. So to that patina,
To
and that
that
is
patina, and
it's oxidized. Yes, that's
it's
right.
oxidized to green. So this elven stuff from season one reminds me of the Statue of Liberty. You know, it's not good, it's not
Hmm.
bad. It's just is right.
Yeah.
Now take a look at the color scheme of that tent. I mean, that green against that yellow rope. Yeah, look at that. You got green rope and yellow rope, Cliff. I mean,
Right.
I'm calling this Elven. I am not calling this Numenorian. I'm sorry.
Okay. We'll see.
Look. You got two colored rope. It's the same as the pic. It's the same as the Elven picture right here.
Yeah. But elven rope was never green. Even the elven rope that Peter Jackson showed in the extended edition of the Two Towers was not green.
Well, it sure ain't um, Numenorian.
Okay.
By the way, by the way, Cliff. A side note. I know we don't talk about U.S. things a lot, but I do like this idea. We're coming up on like the 250th anniversary of the founding of the United States, and there's an
Hmm.
idea to polish the Statue of Liberty back to its copper brilliance for the anniversary, and I like
Oh,
that.
that's a very interesting idea. Um, it is an interesting idea. I don't mind. I don't half mind it, but there's a lot of people who'd be very upset about that. But I do not half mind that idea.
So,
Um,
so yeah, again, we got the green and gold.
I'm
We got the green and
I'm
gold
more personally
colors.
concerned with the what she represents and what she symbolizes
Well,
than the
yeah,
color
we're
of her
not, yeah,
patina.
yeah.
Yeah, you
So
know, at
we're
least
not
you know
going
what I'm
there.
saying.
We're not going
Yeah,
there.
well, I
Um,
did.
so,
Yes.
yeah, so the green and gold color scheme continues on this. I don't think there's anything. Again, look at these things at the top, bottom left in the
Well,
foreground. That's very elvish.
there's
Those are
there's
elven
so
designs.
many props and things here that could be used in different locations for different cultures and people.
Yeah, and maybe a battlefield is full of different cultures. I mean, look at that fire pit right there, Cliff. That wrought
Yeah.
iron fire cliff. That's elvish.
A fire grate? Is that a fire
Yeah.
grate? What do you call that?
Well, look, there's another post in the background with the green,
Thank you,
um,
Troy. Very much.
with the
Welcome.
with the green. Uh, let's see here. A more green rope. Look at that. Uh, look at these.
Those carts, those wheelie carts, those might be dwarven. I mean, we might be looking at a whole mosh pit of different physical implements
Those
and
carts are too
furnishings.
tall. Oh yeah, you
Maybe
think those are
maybe a
elven
lot of
with
these
those wood
props,
with those handles?
maybe a lot of these props are used in different scenes that are unrelated,
You
totally
know what makes
unrelated.
me nervous about this photo, Cliff, is
What?
those aren't hand carts. Those are triage carts. Those are for carrying bodies off the battlefield to heal
Really?
them. Look at that.
That
That's
really?
what
Is
you
that what
would.
that is?
I don't know, but look at it.
Okay.
It looks like that's
Okay.
what you would put a body on to get it off the battlefield, right?
Maybe. Maybe so. And Monica says outright, I don't think those dollies are props at all. Maybe they're functional dollies that they're using to move things around a lot.
Oh, that's interesting.
That's
Again,
that's very likely, Monica.
a
That's
green
very
pot, a
likely.
green pot, and lots of pots, like lots of pots. Oh, hey,
Yes.
there's an actual cast member. Oh,
There's a
not a cast
person,
member, a crew,
a crew
a
member. Yeah.
crew member. Okay.
Speaking of crew,
We got. We'll talk about that in a minute.
okay, in a minute.
Uh, yeah. So,
Do you know what? These baskets, some are human, some are not. And what about that barricade? You see that the spiked
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
the bleached wood barricade? What is that particularly elvish? Not really. So I would say that we're looking at a potpourri of many different props and furnishings and items that are used all across the show for different places and different species of Middle Earth.
Sure.
That's
I'll
what
go
I
with
would
that.
say.
Yeah. A little bit of basket weaving here and there. And now,
Yeah.
Cliff, let's
But those, well,
let's
that's
zoom in
it.
here.
That is distinctly Gil-galad. That is in the court of the High King in Lindon on the far western coast. That is totally High King of the Noldor. Totally. Can't mistake
Um,
that for anything else.
so I think this is Cliff. You know what I'm reminded of?
Well, thank you, Katie. I appreciate that. That's funny.
You know what I'm reminded of with this picture, Cliff? This picture and then this picture.
Yeah.
A gladiator.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm
You're
reminded
getting a
of
little
the
bit of,
opening scene of Gladiator,
yeah, I get that.
where
I'm getting that too.
they
A little
they
bit of
they,
that.
they set up in the middle of the battle or at the end of the battle
Yes.
they set up their tents after a successful battle, and the king is there, right? And
Uh-huh.
that's how the whole movie
You mean
starts,
the
right?
emperor? You mean the emperor?
The
Yes.
emperor, yeah.
Yes.
um
Wasn't that Richard Harris before he passed away?
Richard
Yes.
Harris in an incredible role.
Yeah, the late
So
great Richard Harris.
I do think that the King Gil-galad is going to be here. He's going to bring his whole royal entourage, um, and I am ready to see Gil-galad be um, the warrior king that we want him
Yeah.
to be.
Ready to see him use Aglos, the spear?
I'm ready to see a weapon worthy of its name in this show.
Well, I think we've seen it in season 2. I think we've
I
seen his
know,
spear.
but it hasn't been used very well.
Not much, just a couple of fight scenes in the end of season 2. Um, well, this is really cool stuff that we get from Discord. And Justin is correct in saying all the action is definitely happening over there at the Discord. You got to be there for all the news and the scoop.
Yeah. Um, yeah, huge things. It's going to be interesting if Cliff, let me ask you this. If this guy is
Yes.
Celeborn, does he get introduced in the middle of a battlefield?
I do not know what they're going to do. What if they do some total flashback like they did with the big opening of season 2, which was many, many thousands of years back in time, flashing back to when Adar struck down Sauron, and it was a different actor playing Sauron at that moment. Remember what they did? So if they're going to show Celeborn waking up on a battlefield and suddenly he's separated from the host of the elves and separated from everyone, what I want to know is how are they going to explain his wandering over all these many, 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 many years since Galadriel last saw him? How are they going to explain him wandering and where did he go?
Yeah. That's curious, but I don't want to talk anymore about Celeborn. Before we move on to our
Well,
Hunt for Gollum
okay
news,
then.
we have huge scoops for Hunt for Gollum. But my final thought, my final news item on Rings of Power is this news today, and
Good night, Emily. Thanks for joining us on the show. Have a great night, darling.
I love comparing numbers to popular shows, and we both know that the showrunners love Star Wars. So here we go.
Mhm. Yes.
Today it was announced that Andor viewership increased by almost 40% from the end of season 1 to the end of season 2.
Wow, that's the power of strong buzz. And what I mean by that is really good word of mouth. Really good word of mouth.
Andor viewership increased from
Wow.
the end of the first season to the end of the second season by
40%.
40%.
That's magnificent for Andor. Well done.
Let's compare that
Well
to
done.
Rings of Power season 2 viewership report. According to Luminate, a respected outlet, a third-party streaming analytics company, the viewership decline for Rings of Power season 2 was down 60% from season 1.
Good grief. Wow.
So Andor season 2 viewership is up by 40%,
Yeah.
and Rings of Power season 2 is down by 60%.
Wow. From season one, by the same metric.
By the same metric.
Wow. Wow. And
Cliff,
all the other, as you can see, Obi-Wan, Kenobi, Ahsoka, and the Acolyte also lost viewership over its run. That's intriguing.
what does Rings of Power need to do to get on the track that Andor is?
Bring in, bring in Michael. How do you pronounce his last name?
J. Michael
Uh,
Straczynski?
yeah. Bring in J. Michael Straczynski. Bring in uh the guy who did Westworld. That would be Jonathan Nolan. Bring in Straczynski and Jonathan Nolan and shake things up. Shake things up a bit.
This is what good storytelling does. It increases viewership by 40%. Compared
People in the
to
chat have many different things. Zap Verasepa says Rings of Power needs star power, someone famous starring in it, and
that's what this
uh,
guy is for. This is
that's
why I'm
one.
so excited
That's
about this guy.
one.
He's got more
That's one.
Instagram followers than the rest of the cast combined.
Yeah,
40
but
other actors have less followers combined than this guy. He is the star power that this show needs and always needed.
Yeah,
Also,
but remember when we had rumors about Gladiator himself?
Russell Crowe, right?
We did
And the
have a lot of rumors about
and
Russell
the Blue
Crowe.
Wizards being incredibly famous actors from Iran and China.
Yes. Yeah.
That's what the show needs: star power.
Star power.
But to your I want to counterpoint that in the chat room, Cliff, because I don't think Andor relied on star power. Let's be honest.
No, Andor relied on exceptional writing. Exceptional writing. You know, it's really hard to get that lightning in a bottle unless you're those guys doing Andor, you know?
Dan says Andor season 1 was kind of boring. No interest in season 2. Dan, I really appreciate you. I did think Andor was kind of boring, but if you stick with it, it's got an emotional center that pays off so well. It's like it's like this is what Star Wars always was. It's not lightsabers and magicians. It's a rebellion. And that's what Andor is. It's the story of rebellion.
And people trying to struggle in making a rebellion
And
really effective.
It's worth watching just to see how different cultural groups from different planets join up into the rebellion and the infighting that happens in the rebellion. The season 2 is payoff. By the way, the reviews of the new Alien TV show on FX that starts next week are calling Alien Earth. They're calling it the Andor of the Alien franchise. It's that good.
Oh, that's intriguing.
So why does Alien and Star Wars get these top tier quality? We won't go there.
Mr. Gilroy needs a job. Mr. Tony Gilroy.
Oh, we got breaking news.
So
we got breaking news, Cliff.
we do not.
We got breaking news. Congratulations! Look at this, Bear McCreary, deeply honored to be nominated for Television Composer of the Year.
That's great.
From the World Soundtrack Awards, Television Composer of the Year for his work on The Lord of the Rings, The Rings of Power.
That's great.
That's
Very
great.
Good. Bear McCreary.
Congratulations,
he deserves it.
Bear McCreary. Bear, your visit to our booth last year is one of the highlights of the decade for all of us, and we appreciate your friendship and your blog posts. Bear is
Absolutely.
everything we want from Rings of Power, which is
He needed this, and he didn't get the Emmy nomination, and he deserved
He
it.
didn't.
He really deserved an Emmy
He got
nom.
he got robbed of the Emmy nomination for both seasons. He didn't even get nominated for season 1 nor season
Yeah,
2. But Bear is the only one giving us a behind the scenes peek at his process for Rings of Power. Something we're desperate to see from anyone
yeah.
on the production staff. So congrats to Bear McCreary. Breaking news:
Well
Bear
done.
McCreary is nominated for Television Composer of the Year. That's a huge, huge, huge get.
Super good. That's really cool to have breaking news like that for Bear. He deserves all the things, all the good things.
He really does.
Yeah, he's awesome.
Well, Cliff, I don't have a graphic prepared for your big news, but we're gonna jump. I have a ton of news for Hunt for Gollum.
We have a Green Dragon gossip lower third, maybe? No?
I don't have it
Okay.
prepared.
Well,
So
that's okay.
well,
No worries.
I'm gonna see if I can find the links to all the Hunt for Gollum news. That was our Rings of Power segment. But Cliff, you have some Green Dragon gossip for Hunt for Gollum, and this should be very exciting. It's
I
more
do
than
have
we
news.
had at our panel last week. So what
have news.
did your little birdie tell you?
Well, the little birdie flew a long way from Wellington, New Zealand. That was a long flight for that little birdie. But when the little birdie landed on my windowsill, they started talking to me like that thrush, the thrush that was talking to Bilbo in The Hobbit. And yeah, guess what? They are starting to hire crew for the hunt for Gollum. Carpenters, builders, plasterers, painters, design people, crew people who are going to be lifting all the heavy cords and cables and building all the sets and constructing the props and doing the designs. They are starting to hire crew for the show. Now, we don't know for sure whether they've got any green light on a script, but we've been hearing rumors that the writers have gotten pretty close to finishing a first draft. So that's a nice rumor to hear too. But we don't know anything about that for sure. What I do know for sure is if you live in New Zealand, send in your resume. Please send your curriculum vitae. Yes, I'm doing it, Katie. I'm pulling out the big 50-cent words just for you. Pulling out the curriculum vitae and send your CV right there to the production offices. Send it to Weta. If you work in paint, plywood, plaster, or anything in between, fabrics, if you're a fabricator, puppeteer, if you build things, if you design things, metalwork, metal craftsmanship, weaving together little chains of mail. It is time. It is time to get a job on the hunt for Gollum because they're hiring. Yay! So it's very cool, and I'm very excited because that means things are continuing. If they're still working and we're at an unknown level of how far along they're working on the script, at least we know that the practical things that have to be built and sewn together and constructed, all those people are now, get your resume in there to human resources so that you can work on the hunt for Gollum. It's a very exciting time to be in New Zealand and to be a craftsperson. Even if you're working in the greens department, whatever it is, get your resume in there. Isn't that exciting?
Yeah.
Now,
We keep telling everybody. We've been telling everybody for the last few years.
oh yes,
This is your moment. Like if you're a cosplayer, if you're a creative person, if you draw, if you do CGI, this is your
Yes.
moment to work on Lord of the Rings. The next 5 to 10 years are going to be incredible for Lord of the Rings. Not only can you work
incredible.
on
Yes.
Rings of Power, but you can work on Hunt for Gollum and the other movies that Peter Jackson and Andy Serkis can be doing. This is thousands of human jobs. Thousands of jobs.
Yep. Thousands of jobs. Absolutely. And last one in the chat says, alas for the Tasman Sea, being in between me and there. Oh my gosh, you're in Australia? How did I not know that? That's great. Well, you know, they're boots on the ground. That's what that means. There are boots on the ground getting things done as they start to do pre-visualization and pre-production for the hunt for Gollum. And eventually we'll get some solid news that we can report with complete accuracy about the status of, first or second draft of the script. We don't know where that is, but they should be, if the timetable is, working properly, they should be moving fairly along with that.
Haven't yet
Yes. Oh, look, it's Vigo.
explored that. I'm not exactly sure what they would do. I know what the idea of it is. I'm not sure technically how they would pull it off, but knowing Peter Jackson or his team and Andy Serkis, these are very clever, inventive people, and The Lord of the Rings I saw people solving all kinds of problems all the time and doing things that you thought, well, how are they going to do that in this place? And they would find a way to do it, so who knows? I mean, I'm open to it, sure. I had a good experience working on that big, huge adventure.
Well,
nice.
Cliff,
Vigo is down to come back to be Aragorn. Wild.
So that
what does he say at the very beginning? What is the quote at the very, very beginning? Does he speak about himself in the first person? Oh, he says, I haven't yet explored that. Oh, okay.
Yet explored that. I'm not exactly sure what they would do. I know what the idea of it is. I'm not sure technically how they would pull it off, but knowing Peter Jackson or his team and Andy Serkis, these are very clever, inventive people, and The Lord of the Rings I saw people solving all kinds of problems all the time and doing things that you thought, well, how are they going to do that in this place? And they would find a way to do it, so who knows? I mean, I'm open to it, sure. I had a good experience working on that big, huge adventure.
All right, Cliff.
He's open to it. He wants to come back. He's open. He's happy to come back as Aragorn, son of Arathorn.
That's the first, that's the first time we've ever got official confirmation. We've heard from Orlando Bloom, who said he's okay with AI de-aging. We've heard from John Rhys Davies. We've heard from Ian McKellen. We've heard from almost everybody. And Vigo has accepted. And by the way, Vigo looks great. I'm telling you, you put a wig on that man.
He looks wonderful.
You put a wig, a dark-haired wig on that man, and maybe color his eyebrows. He is back. He is back in the saddle.
Yeah, absolutely. I totally agree with that. That's great. That's so cool. Isn't that nice that we actually have real, physical, tangible proof that he's down to be cast again as Aragorn? And that does bring us back to what fans were talking about in our panel presentation at Comic-Con. Like half the room said use de-aging, or maybe 2/3 of the room said recast the actors.
Yeah, that was interesting. We asked
wasn't
thousands of fans at our panel at Comic-Con, what are they prepared for? Do they want to see dead actors brought back to life, like King Theoden or Saruman, Christopher Lee, via AI, like they did with Peter Cushing in Star Wars, or do they want AI to de-age these older actors like Orlando Bloom and Viggo Mortensen? And Cliff, they screamed it from the audience. The overwhelming noise in the room was what?
Recast
with younger actors.
Yeah, it was 2/3 of the room, to my estimation.
Yeah,
that's 66%. Kids, if you can do math.
That's where the fandom is.
Yes. Absolutely.
So
hello to Ghost Grimes in the chat. We all agree. These movies were a part of my life that helped me survive, and I hope that or if they decide to do it again, I hope it does justice. Yeah, Andy Serkis has a big task in front of him. He has to do justice to that. We agree.
Julia in the chat room says recast gets my vote. Yeah, it's interesting,
Yeah.
Cliff. We love these actors. They've all been friends of Torn. We've had them.
Oh,
We've
yes.
hosted them on panels. We've had most of them on this show. They've
Yeah.
all been very supportive of the fan experience, and we support them in all their new endeavors.
Yeah.
But it's time. We're okay. The fandom is prepared and ready for a new generation of talented actors. Remember, Lord of the Rings was Orlando Bloom's first job ever.
Yeah, indeed.
First
Indeed.
job ever doing anything in acting. Lord of the Rings was Orlando's first job ever. It made him a star.
It really did.
And Lord of the Rings can do that again with some other talented people.
Good.
And I
Hunt
love
for
the
Gollum,
fact,
you mean?
yeah, and hunting for Gollum. And Lord of the Rings did what Rings of Power still refuses to do, right? Which is Lord of the Rings cast a bunch of unknowns but also cast a couple big stars like Liv Tyler, because
Yes.
that's the balance that you need. And when you get to the Hobbit movies, you cast Stephen Fry, you have Stephen Colbert, you have this all-star panel of comedians for the
Stephen
dwarves.
Colbert and an uncredited cameo. Yes.
Yeah. So it's yes, Last Win. He was in an episode of a TV show. We're talking his movie career. Lord of the Rings was his first movie career. Look, some of the other things that the actors are doing right now.
Oh,
it was just
that's right.
announced that Dominic
This was
Monaghan.
a fun bit of news. Very fun.
Dominic Monaghan is joining the Librarians.
Yes.
Cliff, the hype is real. There's even an email thread in our staff inboxes today about this.
Yes.
Cliff, who is Dom playing in the Librarians?
He plays Merlin, the famous wizard from La Morte d'Arthur. That's right. The great
Merlin?
tales of King
with
Arthur.
the big pointy hat?
And, like Merlin from The Sword and the Stone, the Disney film.
The
or from
Bibbidi
original
Bobbidi
classic.
Boo? Oh, wait, no, that was...
It is
No.
a bit of a Norman tale. That's why Professor Tolkien thought that the whole Arthurian cycle was a bit too French. And that's why he wanted to write his own mythology for England. So, yes.
Dominic
That's right.
Monaghan playing Merlin is incredible. And Cliff, you wouldn't believe this. I was watching regular TV, because I still pay for cable, and I watch the
You do
TV commercials.
not.
I watch
Oh
the
my
TV
goodness.
commercials. I
my
don't
goodness.
mute them either. I don't skip them. I watch TV commercials, and you wouldn't believe how quickly my head perked up when I heard the very obvious voice of Billy Boyd in a TV commercial for a new Hulu show called Washington Black.
That's right.
Washington Black. I'm like, hold on.
this.
Based on
gonna
the
be a cool
beloved
new
novel, it's on Hulu now. I'm seeing TV commercials for this all the time, but then the voiceover is Billy Boyd, and I'm
That's
like,
his voiceover on the trailer? How cool.
yeah, and on the TV commercials at least, and I'm like, why is Billy Boyd narrating a TV show that is clearly about the Black American experience? George Washington Black, an old boy, an 11-year-old boy on a Barbados sugar plantation who must flee. So I went over to IMDb to look at the top cast. Look at this cast, Cliff. Sterling K. Brown. Billy Boyd is Willard. And just an all-star beautiful cast here. I love this.
Oh, wow. This is going to be a fun show.
Yeah.
This looks like a really fun show.
It looks like a really fun show. So I just wanted to flag those two shows. But you can watch Billy and Dom Eat the World on Prime Video right now. And then you can jump over to Hulu and see Billy Boyd in a unique new type of role for him. And then you can watch Dominic Monaghan in a brand new unique role for him as Merlin. Yeah, we love our actors. Cliff, there was I wanted to changing gears now.
Yeah.
There was a big thread on Twitter this weekend. Someone asked the question, your honest and respectful opinion on the Hobbit
Yes.
trilogy. Before we get into the comment I want to highlight, I would like your response to this. If you were still on Twitter, how would you respond to this tweet? Your honest and respectful opinion on the Hobbit trilogy.
I would say that the Hobbit trilogy is a very energetic and delightful embarrassment of too many things happening too much. It's energized, it's colorful, it's a lot of fun, but it's also over bloated and it overstays its welcome, especially the third film overstays its welcome. So you could say that it is and it was an earnest attempt to tell more stories, but they got caught up in production delays and the whole nightmare of losing their main director, Guillermo del Toro. And thank you, Taylor. It's lovely to have you here on the show. But my honest and respectful opinion of The Hobbit is that it was great fun, but it was still too much of a meal. It was way overdone. But it was still a fun ride, a really fun ride, and it has some
You're
real
out of
necessary.
characters now. Yeah, it's Twitter. It's 180 characters. I'm sorry. You're out of characters.
Okay. Well, there you go.
My short form opinion, honest and respectful opinion on the Hobbit trilogy is there is a secret comedy duology. There's a wonderful, very funny comedy movie that is up there with The Hangover and The Naked Gun as an all-time comedy movie series. But they did not edit it as a comedy, and they did not score it as a comedy. The musical score is too dramatic. I love Howard Shore, but
Yeah.
he doesn't do comedy. He's never done a comedy, and this was shot for comedy with the camera placements. It was cast for comedy. Look at the cast of The Hobbit. All stars. James Nesbitt, Stephen Fry, Dame Edna, Martin Freeman from The Office, all the way down. The entire movie was written and cast and performed for comedy. That's not the movie that we get to watch. It's not. Does not play as a comedy. It's not edited as a comedy. It's not scored as a comedy. It doesn't feel like a comedy at all. So there's a hidden comedy in there, and I think that solves a lot of problems. But Cliff, I want to get your opinion on whether you think this is accurate. This person posted the incredibly slapdash way these were rushed out and how cynical the production was after Del Toro left was really the watershed moment for the era we are in now, even more so than the MCU. The bloated, lifeless sheen that every big movie has today is downstream from these.
No, I do not agree with that hot take at all.
Interesting.
And having watched the production diaries that Michael Pellerin gave us for the Hobbit films and knowing the difficulties that they had in the production, it is absolutely inaccurate to use the phrase slapdash and rushed. That the movies were not slapdashed and rushed.
Jed Brophy says this is a wonderful trilogy full of amazing performances and technical brilliance. You know, Viggo Mortensen just said that in the video. Didn't Viggo Mortensen just say these exact words like 2 seconds ago?
Yeah. He said he was proud of it and had a great time. Yeah, technical brilliance.
overall, most of the comments are super positive. Kind of crazy that Jackson made his own Star Wars trilogy and then made his own Star Wars prequel trilogy at like an exact 1-to-1 ratio in terms of experimental technological advancements and bloated narrative pitfalls.
And bloated narrative pitfalls. Yep, I agree with that.
Really? You agree with that one?
I do. Yeah, I do agree with that.
No other set of movies runs the gambit of showing some of the most amazing things you've ever seen on screen alongside some of the most undercooked, rushed effects of its era. It's like watching scenes from The Way of Water and The Flashback to Back.
That's an interesting take.
Huh. One of the most depressing cinematic... I don't know how you can get depressing out of this. It was thrilling to watch it.
Not at all. It wasn't depressing. It was just overbaked and overdone.
I love this barrel scene. Yeah, the barrel scene is one of the most iconic scenes in all of literature, in the history of literature.
Yeah, and the fact Tolkien that it didn't write that at all like that. It was crazy pants.
I know that, but that's the best part of an adaptation. You take one of the most iconic action adventure scenes in literary history, and you make it something new and unique for the new medium that you're playing with.
It was completely not like that at all. In the book,
you
they
did not like this?
Quietly down, huh?
So you did not like the movie version?
I mean, that was some of the overbloated stuff that was left in the oven too long.
You really hated the
second
movie.
I'm going to read from the live chat. Monica says, I guess I'm in the minority. I loved it as a trilogy, but there were too many times the focus was on Thorin's story as opposed to focusing on Bilbo. And that is an excellent point. Excellent point.
Look, a friend of the show, he's been on the show, Nick DeSimilian, who is an editor at Empire Magazine. We were just talking about Empire.
Yes.
He literally counterpoints you, Cliff. In real time, He says, I think the much lambasted barrel sequence is actually the best bit of the whole trilogy.
Yeah, I know. People love it.
I'm with you, Nick. But Cliff isn't.
People love it, but I'm not there.
You're not there. Wow.
You know, I was more interested in... Excuse me. Pardon me.
This one is the biggest...
The encounter, the whole encounter with Gollum in the first film.
We're talking about the barrels. Hold on. Hold that thought. The biggest conceptual problem with it was The Hobbit is not a tale that is well suited for epic 3-part trilogy with tons of lore. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, I agree with this take very much. At the end of the day, it's a children's story, an episodic children's story that should have been approached as such. I totally get that. Now,
episodic. Would you like to see Amazon do their own Hobbit version as a TV show?
No, thank you. Let's just say that big conversation that Bilbo has with Smaug in the second film is kind of foreshadowed with the conversation he has with Gollum in his cave. That's a foreshadowing. I find that was interesting. I'm not into the love triangle between the dwarf and the elf and the elf. I wasn't interested in that.
And those studio execs are long gone now.
That was studio note that was imposed on them. I mean, whatever. But I really love seeing Thranduil in his element. It was even better to see Saruman as a good guy. And that's the critical part that I say all the time, and I haven't yet said it. This conversation should also include that even though The Hobbit was a bit overbaked and had too much stuffed in, especially the third film, it is very helpful to the narrative of the 3 Lord of the Rings films that you see Saruman in proper context. He's bristling with Gandalf. Gandalf doesn't have much patience for being dragged over the coals by his chief of all the wizards, Saruman. But to see Saruman as a good guy in the Hobbit films is critical. It's really critical. It helps a lot. So I will definitely give them a gold star for that.
Cliff, there's
and then there's that guy. There's that guy.
Otaku
an example of the practical effects. That's the real practical orcs
Well,
we could have had.
Susan,
In
the
the
chat
film.
room, Susan and Otaku are talking about how Bulg should have been the bad guy. He was originally the bad guy. You know, we criticized
know.
Rings of Power for changing
I
the
know.
helmet, the faces of Saruman, of those guys, right? We just criticized Rings of Power for putting
You mean
CGI.
the masked guys?
The
Yeah.
the CGI mask guys. Well, Peter Jackson did it first, and he did it worst, because they filmed the
Yeah.
entire movie with this guy as the main antagonist. They shot the entire Hobbit movie with this guy as the main bad guy.
Wow, what a great design, though.
That
And they changed it.
That is the original bad guy for the Hobbit movies. He's scary. He's intimidating. They made toys of him.
Yeah, they did.
And then at some point, Peter Jackson changed his mind and turned him into CGI, which Manu Bennett played well. But I agree with you guys. This is the bad guy. It was filmed as the bad guy, and this should have remained as a bad guy. Also,
agree.
I think The Hobbit is hurt from all of the bad guys speaking orc tongue.
The orc speech.
I feel like the Lord of the Rings, as much as everybody made fun of the Lord of the Rings for orcs using Cockney accents, I think
No,
it
that was
worked.
great fun. That was great.
I think
so
it
instead,
worked.
they have the black speech of Mordor, and they have to subtitle every conversation in the Hobbit films. Right? All subtitles.
Right.
And you're right, Otaku Senpai. We do see this orc in Dol Guldur, and Galadriel blasts him away with a wave of her hand.
This got 9,000 likes on Twitter. You can feel every step of the way that Peter Jackson didn't want to do it at all. I think that's a little unfair. You should watch the
It is a little
behind-the-scenes.
unfair, but that wasn't, I mean, it's not far off. I mean, Peter Jackson was not going to do it at all. It's not that he didn't want to, but what other choice did they have?
And we've got one more thing to talk about because I want to jump into the AI stuff real quick.
Oh, yeah.
But this is the final thing that we should mention. The scene where the dwarves sing "Misty Mountains Cold" is so haunting and beautiful that it tricks you into thinking the whole trilogy will be good. I agree. The first movie and the first hour of the first movie is Tolkien on screen, the best that's ever been.
Perfected. Absolutely.
The best that's ever been.
Perfected.
Better than Return of the King. Better than Fellowship of the Ring. The first hour of the first Hobbit movie, you have 3 songs being sung in a major motion picture. 3 songs by strapping men. Richard Armitage with his baritone voice, and he's backed up by Graham
They're
McTavish.
2 songs. Yes.
They bend
songs.
the Misty Mountains Cold and bend the knives, bend the forks and blunt the knives.
Mm-hmm.
Incredible. And then the goblins sing down to Goblin Town. Right?
There is a third song. Yes.
There's a third song in the. So you have a major motion picture from Tolkien. The first Hobbit movie has 3 actual songs in it, and no one criticizes it. It's definitely not a musical, and it works.
And they used original riddles from the riddle game that Tolkien wrote.
And they used the original riddles. And you know what? One of the things that everyone loves about Rings of Power Season 1 is the song.
Yep.
Wandering Day or whatever it is.
Yeah, Wandering Day.
Tolkien is about linguistics and songs and poetry.
Yep.
Put some
agreed.
songs back into Tolkien. I'm looking at you, Peter, and Andy, and McPain.
Yeah.
Let's put some songs back, more songs back into this, and make it work.
I agree.
Don't just have like a non sequitur, right? Those songs in the Hobbit movie work so well. All right, Cliff.
Agreed. Very much agreed. Well, as one of our people in the live chat had said that the Rankin and Bass original Hobbit was better, and thank you, because it used so many of Tolkien's original songs and poems from the book. And that might be one reason why.
and listen, we
Have
sold
a good
out.
night, Otaku.
We sold out of our Rankin and Bass Hobbit T-shirts at Comic-Con. Thank you so much for all of your support. Those of you that were at Comic-Con, we're overwhelmed.
You mean these shirts?
We're overwhelmed with the support for that old cartoon.
Yeah, was wonderful. Really good stuff.
Good, yeah,
So
great stuff.
as we get to we're past the 90-minute mark. How are we gonna close the show? Do you have to talk about AI? Do we
Real
have
quick,
to?
I just want to keep you guys
Do we
informed.
but
we don't
do
have to do we don't have to do a big conversation. I just want to give you guys a little update, right? Because I need you
Okay.
guys to stay informed because
What's
I think
the update?
AI is coming for Lord of the Rings faster than we want it. We have to be prepared. Okay? First off, I was alerted by this tweet from Jennifer Hutchinson. Cliff, who is Jennifer Hutchinson?
Well, she was one of the lead writers on The Rings of Power.
She's one of the most senior writers on Rings of Power.
Yes.
I don't know if she's still involved, but she was one of the senior writers in season 1 and season 2. She comes from Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul. She's one of the most talented writers, and she got my antennas up, saying with a Blue Sky post about Amazon backing an AI streaming service called Showrunner. This is dangerous, Cliff. Are they looking to replace the showrunners, McPain, with AI?
No. What? That's a big jump in
That's
logic.
a big jump. Well,
that's a huge, crazy jump in causality. Let's start with the basics. What is the context of this?
Let's go.
This is not. It's not a
Introducing-
software tool. It's an actual streaming service.
Let's go. Introducing Showrunner, the Netflix of AI. From our South Park AI experiment to today, we've believed in AI movies and shows are playable medium. We just raised a round from Amazon, and the alpha is live today. Let's take a look.
Okay.
AI is not just a tool in the toolbox. It's a competitor. People sometimes say, well, AI is just a pencil. I don't know any pencils that stand up and write by themselves. Creativity is at a Deep Blue and Kasparov moment.
We were trying to prove that it was possible to build a chess machine that could beat the best player in the world.
Because we didn't build Deep Blue to make chess players better. And we didn't build AlphaGo to make Go players better. We built it to win. It's a completely new medium. And it's going to push you to be more creative.
I'm not interested in AI as recreating a process that we already have and already works. I'm way more interested in AI creating something that would have otherwise been impossible without it. Let's make something new that has never been done before.
It's going to transform Hollywood, but in a much bigger way. It's not going to just be a way to make movies cheaper. Movies and TV shows are going to become playable. Showrunner is magic.
Creators can give their shows to all of their fans. Once a show is up on Showrunner, fans can come in, they can add themselves into shows, they can create more episodes.
Showrunner is grounded in a simulation of the world. You're actually getting to tell your stories about what's going on in the world that week, that day, that hour.
Let's say you don't like how a season ended, you can just go in and change it. We want to be able to find that person who might have not gotten a chance and give them an actual platform to make something. If you make a show and it goes on Showrunner, every single time a user generates more content from your show, the creators of that world are getting paid for those generations.
Imagine a Netflix of AI where people are telling their own stories.
So one of the things we've been telling creators is don't just think of a story you want to tell, think of a world that you want to build.
Everyone can just have at it, and they can start to tell their own version, their own story, one-up each other.
All of our beta users have created this community within themselves, but together they're making full seasons of these TV shows, and they're making each other laugh, and they're even getting to know each other. We have all these chat channels where everybody's actually talking to each other, and that's just been really, really cool to watch.
Making a character truly live is the greatest artistic quest. And that's going to transform movies, that's going to transform TV, that's going to transform gaming. And we're just at this very little sliver of it with Showrunner, but we're at the beginning.
Cliff, your thoughts, because I am making a lot of connections to Rings of Power now.
Okay. Well,
Because first off,
This is-
in this trailer, they say, did you not like how that season ended? Well, go in, and Amazon backs this company, by the way. Well, go in and make your own with AI. Imagine Amazon putting the entire asset collection of Rings of Power, the $1.5 billion that they've spent creating all those props and those digital assets that they own. Imagine them putting that up there, and Cliff, you can go in there tomorrow and create your own version of Tom Bombadil and fix Rings of Power as you see fit.
Okay. Well, I don't think I'm particularly interested in this kind of thing at all. Because instead of actually working with real painters, writers, directors, sculptors, and the people that I had sitting next to me at my elbow on my Comic-Con panel, multiple Oscar winner Richard Taylor, these people get acknowledgement and Oscars and awards, and they get the accolades because they put in the hard work. They really do put in blood and sweat and tears to make real tangible things. This kind of stuff isn't interested. I mean, I'm not interested in it because it's the opposite of tangible. You're dealing with intangibles. And in fact, the proposal that they have is, why don't we take somebody else's work and fiddle with it? Well, why would you waste so much of your writing career or your production and directing career fiddling around with somebody else's creation? That just seems to be a big distraction from what you should be doing, which is making your own original things that you are writing and directing and producing yourself.
So let me ask you this:
I don't get it. I don't get the appeal of this. I just see a lot of people.
You talk about everything that you would have done if you were in the writer's room.
I just said why. I said why I do not get the appeal of a streaming service where I could go in and be an interloper on somebody else's creation. Why would I want to be an interloper? Why don't I spend my time writing my own show and creating my own thing that I'm proud of, that I made myself, instead of,
because you cannot play with Tolkien's license.
Somebody else's
because you cannot
show.
play with IP, the Tolkien IP that Amazon would allow you to do if they. Do you? First off,
I share no enthusiasm for this product as a streaming service, and if they're trying to encourage capital C creatives, if they're trying to, here we are, we're the next generation of creatives, and we're using this tool to do it, I think it's completely counterproductive to what being a creative, capital C, really means.
I have
fiddling around with somebody else's stuff instead of making your own.
I have two questions.
I don't get
One, did my initial joke before you watch that video, did my initial joke that they're going to replace the showrunners of Rings of Power, does that become more realistic at this point?
No, because that's not what they're offering. They're offering end users a chance to work with other stuff. They're not trying to change the production pipeline of something that hasn't been created yet. That's not, from my limited understanding of watching that video that promotes their product, it doesn't seem like they're trying to have their streaming platform erase the jobs of a multi-billion-dollar TV series. It looks like they're trying to create some other space where other people are gonna get,
where fans can go and say, I didn't like what they did that episode. I'm gonna change it with my own ideas. Secondly, Cliff, my second question. Now that you've seen the video, now that you've seen Amazon has backed it, and now that and we've talked about how much pro AI Amazon is. The question I have for you is, do you see an actual future in the next few years where Rings of Power is on this service for everybody to play with?
Yeah, I could see that. Yeah, that I can see. But that's not going to...
And is that is that good? Bad?
That's not going to change. Is that going to change the trajectory of seasons 3, 4, and 5? No.
No, I don't think so. I think Jeff Bezos is paid for the 5 seasons. We don't have to worry about it getting canceled.
Okay.
McPain are going to see their story all the way through. But do you think that Amazon is going to put power in the hands of fans to remix Rings of Power into the infinite number of variations that fans would want to see? I can get my own Haladriel edit.
Yeah, you could. and other people could get a different edit of the show without mystery boxes.
Yeah.
Maybe, I don't know. Maybe, who knows? But
you could take the masks off the actors. You could change the dialogue from "I am Gandalf" to "I am not Gandalf. I am a blue wizard. My name is Romastamo."
Right. Vixen, very good point. Vixen Dark Fairy in the chat says, I also worry that people will edit out all of the political content from, say, The Sound of Music all over again, losing the point of the story. You know,
Well,
I also want to mention that all this generative AI is stealing jobs from other artists and animators and storyboard artists and people that you would normally hire to make something happen. It's totally
Clifford,
taking those jobs away.
You would never ever be allowed or have the resources available to make your own version of Rings of Power. This showrunner app, funded by Amazon, allows you to do things that you just wouldn't pay for and wouldn't be allowed to do. It's not taking any jobs away because you wouldn't be having those jobs in the first place.
All generative AI is stealing and scraping all of the internet from other existing artists to replicate them without royalties, without payments. The ethical
that's a whole different
problem has never gone away, Justin. But that's
fair.
Part of the conversation, though. That's never gone off the table.
Let's make a connection back to the Hobbit movies, because we spent 20 minutes talking about the Hobbit movies.
Exactly. Not to mention the environmental consequences AI is generating. Did you see the new Ari Aster film, Eddington?
No.
You have to see it. We have to talk about it on air on our show.
All right.
You have to see Eddington.
Give me some time to watch that. But Cliff, let's bring it back to the Hobbit, because we spent 20 minutes talking about fans' opinions of the Hobbit.
Thank you, Monica.
A very important thing that we forgot to mention with the Hobbit is how many fan edits of the Hobbit were created.
Oh, you know what? There was about half a dozen. If I'm not mistaken, there was at least 3 or 4 very, very popular re-edits of the Hobbit.
There was the Tolkien edit, the Hobbit cut, the book cut. There was, there's fan edits. What is the difference between a fan edit of the Hobbit trilogy and this, which basically does the same thing, potentially for Rings of Power in the coming years?
You're not wasting millions of gallons of water in a data cooling center. One, and the other thing is you're not scraping data off the internet to steal artistic specifics from other creators. If you're just editing a film, you're just editing the film. So that's the difference.
So we're not here to tell you guys how to think about this. We're just here to present the news as it's being reported, and this is breaking news from this week. I'm still coming to terms with this.
Good point.
My initial reaction.
Henrietta.
What was that?
Henrietta, The Void. This is about making artists seem extraneous. It's seeding the ground for the idea that they're not necessary, and companies will eliminate people from the arts entirely to save money and control it. Thank you for making that point. Very, very well said. Very well said.
I personally am interested, I wouldn't say excited, I'm interested in them applying Rings of Power to this showrunner app and letting fans create their fan edits, because, like it or not, Rings of Power is a lightning rod for discourse and discussion. I don't know anyone that has there are very few people, and they are in our Discord, there are very, very few people that just blanket love everything Rings of Power has done. They have no complaints. But everybody in broad sense has very, very serious issues with Rings of Power that could be fixed on their own terms with this edit. Same with the Hobbit movies, and we talked about that with the Hobbit movies. One final thing with AI, because this came up this morning, Cliff. We've shown generative AI a few times here. This kind of blew my mind. 11 Labs Music is a brand new updated algorithm for music. Listen to this. Cliff, is that not inspirationally? I mean, if you're making a Lord of the Rings fan film, there it is.
Justin, I genuinely think it's awful because you've eradicated the jobs of all of those French horn players, the harpists, the soloists, the chorus, the violin players, the musicians who wrote the music, the arrangers who arranged
If you're
the music.
making a fan film, you don't have the money to pay those people anyway.
Can you pause the playback, please? Thank you. I get it that you have a whole lot of unbridled enthusiasm for all the different things that AI represents on the horizon. I do not, and probably never will, share that enthusiasm with you. And I would hate, editorially speaking, I would hate for our show about the Lord of the Rings and J.R.R. Tolkien to be completely clogged up in our pipes. I'd like to clear the plumbing of some of this, okay? The tools that you can use for a fan film is to license music from some other composer who composed it, made it, and then you license it and you pay for it. You pay a human being, an artist, for the creation of their art. That's how I made a rather inexpensive, micro-budget, independent film. I got a music supervisor. She happened to be the daughter of a very famous musician who will remain nameless, and you get a talented music supervisor to help you license music, because that involves helping artists thrive to get proper compensation for the music that they made. That's my opinion on that, okay?
All right.
But
Fair enough.
also, Professor Tolkien would be kind of aghast at this whole AI revolution, because the artistic, because his effort at making a sub-creation was a deeply spiritual and profound personal statement of how revelatory his relationship with God was for him. God, the creator of the primary world, was something that he wanted to celebrate by him being a sub-creator of a secondary world. And you introduce all these AI tools, and you are denying so many writers and artists the ability to partake in the process of sub-creation. Even if it's not so strictly religious and metaphysical for every person on a case-by-case basis, for me, as a writer, it is very personally satisfying to say, I did that. The end. I wrote that whole play. I wrote that whole letter. That entire essay, it's published in famous Monsters of Filmland, not because AI generated it, because I wrote it. And that's why the editors of the magazine came to me. That's why Cold Spring Press came to us. Cold Spring Press, which was a division of Simon & Schuster, they came to Turgon and Anwin and Ostadan and Quickbeam. We were the writers who were actually writing scholarship for the OneRing.net. And we put our names on it because we're proud of it. We're really proud of that. And if you're making a fan film and you need to get a big orchestra, and why would you deny the composer who lives over there in the San Fernando Valley? And I know him. You know him too. He's that guy sitting there on a keyboard making music, and then he puts it up on an online library, and you pay the appropriate fee to license his music for your little project. That way, the artist is compensated, and it's not AI. You've saved millions of gallons of water in a cooling data center, and you've actually done something ethical to support the arts on a personal basis. And you know what? You get to have personal pride at a whole different level, because you got real people involved in a real project, and people will look at you and say, that guy's the salt of the earth. I want to work with him again in the future. And that's how you get a career as a creator, is by actually doing it this way. It has to be organic. How about that speech that Guillermo del Toro gave in Hall H in San Diego Comic-Con? Remember what he said? Very powerful words. As artists, you cannot remove the personal sacrifice and the hard work that it takes you to get from point A to point Z. From A to Z, from A to Z, if you're an American, You have to put yourself in the process so that it is real for you, and the result on screen and on the page is real for everyone else. That's my position on all of this. And I hope I've made myself really, really clear that using it as a tool to create coding, using it as a tool to find a way to cure cancer, finding AI tools to do the right genome sequencing to stop people from having a virus that invades their body. I'm all about that. I'm all about really useful, purposeful tools to use AI. I'm not all about using it to replace artists. I'm not at that level. So, you know, there's a way to look at the way that Peter Jackson and his team in the year 2000 was trying to develop early machine learning in the massive software. Why did they do that? Because they needed to get all the hundreds of thousands of little orcs and little elves to run around on the battlefield, and each one of those digital figures needed to react and react differently to what was going on in the digital environment at the time. That was an incredibly useful tool for what would be possibly one of the earliest examples of AI being used in visual effects in a very effective way. And they called that software Massive. And it was their own proprietary software that they created at Weta, if I'm not mistaken. And they should have been very proud of that because it made the end product look really amazing and was very effective. And you can see it on the screen, especially in the opening sequences of Fellowship of the Ring. But you know, that software did not take away jobs. They had to hire a lot of people to make it work, to make it blend in with the film. There's a difference between using it as a constructive tool or using it to cut the creative process into shreds so that you can get to an end result without having to put in the blood and sweat and tears to get there. I'm strictly in the camp of Guillermo del Toro and his opinions on this.
That's your update for AI as a palate cleanser. Lord of the Rings subreddit today. Check this out, Cliff. Someone hiked Half Dome at Yosemite and brought Gollum with him. Look at this, Cliff. Look
How cute.
at this.
How very cute.
Gollum at the top of Half Dome.
It's kind of like taking
Look at
that
him
cardboard.
Look at him
What?
with this little fire.
They got him sitting right there. He's everywhere. That's so funny.
Look at little Gollum at the top of Half Dome. Cliff, do you know how hard it is to climb Half Dome? I do. I've done it. It's scary.
It's really hard. It's crazy difficult to do that. Yes.
It's like a 6-hour hike, and it's not easy. And I've done it. I've done it once just to say I did. I don't need to do it again. Also, it's very, very high. Gollum, there he is at the top of Half Dome. There he is in a stream of Yosemite.
That's so funny.
There he is at the top of Yosemite Falls.
So funny.
There he is at Vernal Falls.
That reminds me of that big Gandalf statue that we took to Bryce Canyon.
Yeah.
I took a picture of it. Yes.
Oh, I just love little Gollum with his little campfire, little Smeagol with
That's
his
very
campfire,
cute.
and little Gollum in his tent.
Okay.
So congrats to
Well
Gollum.
done.
It is a big feat. Big feat to climb Half Dome and really privileged. Quick program now before Cliff takes us out. Next week, you guys remember Jackson. Jackson made these wonderful Lord of the Rings playing cards that we sold out at Comic-Con. Cliff, we couldn't keep these in stock fast enough, could we? They
Oh my gosh, we sold
so
them fast. They sold faster than you could say knife. And that's because they were a completely affordable price. There's not a lot of things you can get at Comic-Con for $16. And
Look at
that
these.
was great. Everyone loved them.
This
Everyone
is
loved
the
them.
Fellowship of the Ring deck. Look, all the face cards are custom. There's Tom Bombadil as the king of clubs. Of course he is.
Oh, that
Legolas
is such a cool thing. That's
yeah.
so cool.
These wonderful, like, look, who is the ace right here? Who is the ace?
Oh man, those cards were
Gandalf.
so beautiful.
Yeah. So we sold the entire deck of Fellowship, Two Towers, and Return of the King at Comic-Con. But Cliff, we've got Jackson on the show next Tuesday to
wonderful.
announce something new. Something new.
Last one is already talking about it in the chat. Yes.
Yes.
He's starting a new crowdfunding for something fabulous.
Yeah. So next week we're gonna give you the exclusive day one preview of his brand new Kickstarter. So make sure you're logged into Kickstarter so you can support as soon as he shows you what he's about to show you. I've seen it. It's incredible. I'm so excited to have Jackson back on the show next Tuesday. You won't want to miss it. Tune in because all of his stuff is wonderful. Cliff, thanks for taking us on a long show. We gave you updates from Rings of Power. We got leaked set visits, leaked set pics. You had all the scoops of Hunt for Gollum, and then we talked a little bit about the legacy of the Hobbit movies, and of course AI, and it's coming for us all. So that's the update.
At least we've done our audience the favor of getting them to be aware of it, and so that they can brace themselves for it. At least we've done our audience that much, so the conversation is out there at least. So that's good. And we did cover a lot of fascinating subjects today. We really did. I do ask for your forbearance, Justin, my dear, and I ask for your forgiveness for me ranting like that. That was a rant. That I literally have not had that kind of a lengthy rant on our show in quite some time. But hey, episode 701, we're gonna go somewhere. We're going big places. We're gonna do big things and go big places on our show, Torn Tuesday, and we're bringing you all along with us. So we say thank you again for joining us, everybody in the YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, Twitter, Discord, Instagram, everybody who's been in the live chat with us. Thank you for participating. You are such a great part of this community. You are everything to us. Cat, get away from that window. Naughty. My cat's being very naughty. But before we say goodnight, I want to thank you, Justin, for pulling the strings and getting all the fun photographs and stuff so we could talk about all this stuff. Oh, no, we'll have a Miyazaki minute next week. We'll do that next week. Okay. I don't have one right now. But I wish you all the very best. And we're going to be here 5:00 p.m. next Tuesday. Same bat time, same bat channel, right here. Follow me on Blue Sky and Instagram at QuickBeam2000 and follow theonering.net by taking out the dot. We are the One Ring Net on all platforms. Do yourselves a favor. Join our Discord. It'll be remarkable. It'll be a really good time for everyone. And next week, we're going to have a great little interview with our good friend. He's so great, Jackson Robinson. Good night, Justin, and good luck. As I like to say at the end of every show, buenos noches y buena suerte. Bye-bye, everybody. Take good care.